Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Jerry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get into this. Eric Trump says crypto will replace the banking system. He calls banks antiquated and discriminatory, predicting every bank will adopt crypto within a year. The thing you have to understand here is the Trumps would not even be involved in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology if they weren't debanked, like many other people before. You have Brad Garlinghouse and many other people within the crypto community that were debanked just because they had connections to the crypto community. Now, I was a firm believer in that the big banking industry was provoking the crackdown on cryptocurrency by the SEC, Gary Gensler, the Biden administration, the Elizabeth Warrens, JP Morgan's. That's who I thought was pushing it, the big banking industry, not the politicians. And I'm willing to admit when I may have been wrong. And it's kind of looking like it may have been the Biden administration, the Obama administration that was forcing the banks to do their bidding. Now, that doesn't absolve the banks doing their bidding without pushing back, fighting against it. The problem I have with this is they didn't go public, they didn't bring it out into the open, and they didn't discuss it. They let it happen. They debanked people for the only reason being connected into crypto. They debanked the Trumps because they were politically against it. I believe when the Trumps realized they could have a level playing field, they went 100% all in. And that's why you see what's happening today with the Trump administration and within the Trump family. When you think about it and how hard the Biden administration has went after cryptocurrency after the first Trump administration, maybe they knew what Trump was up to. Maybe they knew they needed to prevent this. But see, the problem with this is once you put everything on a blockchain, a distributed ledger, they're not going to be able to lie, cheat, and steal from us anymore. Everything's going to be there on a public blockchain where everything's auditable. So if everything is auditable in real time, you're not going to be able to steal from the American people anymore. So once they actually put the Federal Reserve and the IRS, if it's still around, on a blockchain, the fraud and corruption will be gone instantly. If we put our voting system on a blockchain, the fraud and corruption will be gone instantly. This is what I believe the Trump administration is attempting to do right now as we speak.
But the reality is the banking system in this country is absolutely antiquated. It doesn't work. It's costly. It's slow as hell. I would have never been in crypto had we not been debanked and deplatformed by absolutely everyone. If I wasn't getting the letters from Capital One saying, congratulations, 300 of your accounts are gone overnight, believe me, I wouldn't have found this industry. But this industry that within a year, everybody's going to be in. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody, every bank, every consumer, because this is just the way of the future. And it's an honor to be part of it. And frankly, I'm glad my father's leading the way on it, because otherwise one of the other countries would get it. And I'm glad I'm glad I look at the 401ks and I see how much they've gone up. And I'm glad I look at inflation, see how much it's gone down. I'm glad interest rates are going to come down. I mean, we're getting our country back.
Here's also another thing that I think we need to blame the educational system, the governments, and the wealthy people in general. They don't teach the kind of things to kids, young adults, that they need to be teaching them in school. They don't teach them about the stock market. They don't teach them about compound interest. They don't teach them about savings. They don't teach them about how the dollar is printed into thin air. It's devalued every single day. They don't tell the common person to buy real estate, to buy gold, to buy silver, to buy tangible assets that do not lose value. The dollar constantly lose value. And I blame our educational system and our leaders for this. They didn't teach people this. They don't teach the masses this, I should say. And another thing is people seem to think they can move into $1 million house when they buy their first house. That's just not possible. That's just not how things work. You think these baby boomers or these Gen X's that's been in the house for years bought their first house and they got $1 million house at the very beginning? No. They had to buy a house probably for $150,000, $200,000. And if you're talking about a boomer, probably like $50,000 to $80,000. The governments, the banking industry, all the financial institutions, they tell you to save dollars, save dollars. Why? Because that's a fool's errand. They want you saving dollars because if you're saving dollars, then they can capitalize off your money. Now, I did some research on the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and if it does go public, it does suggest that the mortgage rates will drop.
Before we let you go, I always have to ask you for an update on Fannie and Freddie. So when can we expect that IPO? Is it something you can get done by first quarter? Because I think last time you were on a few months ago, you said that it was a sooner rather than later story.
It is a sooner rather than later story. I think that's exactly right. I mean, I would like to see that, but, this is a full administration discussing it, working it through, but we are well down the road on getting a deal done with Fannie and Freddie, and I am excited about its prospects going forward. I think these are great American companies that produce great cash flow. But the key is we want to keep the mortgage rates low for America. The fundamental first driver is let's keep mortgage rates as low as possible. We've got a lot of ideas in the offing, and that's bringing them all together to drive mortgage rates down. Remember, you've got first-time mortgage buyers because of the Biden inflation, 40 years old. That is just broken. When Donald Trump left office, they were 33 years old, the average home buyer. And then because of Biden's inflation, it went up to 40. Donald Trump is on it, and we're going to, focus on that kind of opportunity together with the agencies going public. I think we're going to do some amazing things next year.
Q1? Is that Q1 story?
I'll leave that to the announcement later.
Now, I know all these Gen Zers feel like the American dream is unattainable and out of reach now. It's not because of economic issues. It's because of educational issues. They're not being taught how to attain these goals anymore. Instead of being taught how to attain these goals or these accomplishments, they're given everything. Everything has been given to them. So they just expect it. That's why they don't expect to have to move into a $150,000 or $200,000 house for the first starter house. Everything was given to them. They didn't have to earn anything. And if you don't think the debanking was widespread, Chairman Representative French Hill and Representative Mauser and the committee's digital asset banking report.
Financial Services Committee issuing a 53-page final staff report on how the Biden administration debanked digital assets. It details how Biden-era regulators used vague rules, excessive discretion, informal guidance, and aggressive enforcement, all to pressure banks into distancing themselves from digital asset clients. This resulted in at least 30 entities or individuals losing access to financial services. Joining me now is Arkansas Congressman French Hill. He is the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. Mr. Chairman, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. I want to kick it off with your report. What can you tell us?
Well, Maria, happy holidays. Great to be with you. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. This report identifies all the ways led by Gary Gensler, who was chairman of the SEC, the bank supervisors led by Michael Barr, then vice chairman of the Fed, and others, to systematically debank legal businesses in the United States engaged in the digital asset innovative space. And this was terrible for American competitiveness. And it led me during the course of the Biden administration to offer my Fit 21 bill, which is now the Clarity Act, which gives the rules of the road, clear market structure road rules, so that people know how to innovate. They can count on the federal government for not debanking them and actually encouraging the use of innovation blockchain technology inside financial services.
But why would the administration, the Biden administration, want to de-emphasize this?
Well, I think they took the same approach that the Obama administration is, that when they, in their privileged point of view, believes that somehow that this innovation is a bad thing, they wanted to see it blocked from access to the financial system. We call it Choke Point 2.0. Choke Point 1.0, led by the FDIC, principally during the Obama administration, encouraged banks through leverage, intimidation, guidance, verbal communication, email listing, to ban them from banking businesses that the Obama administration didn't favor, like gun dealers, for example.
I see.
And this is wrong when the federal government uses its authority to tell a private entity they can or cannot do business with someone just because of their a belief system that, doing business with a gun dealer is bad, doing business with an energy producer is bad because of the climate.
You know what's really sad? Until I became into politics and started actually looking into politics itself, the function of the government, how the Congress is, how the Senate is, how the presidency is, until I started being politically involved, I didn't realize how corrupt and evil and just downright disgusting our government really is, honestly. And it's pretty sad to see this is what we've actually become. Well, that's what I have for you folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Meets AI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.